4 points in the scrimmage. Evan Bouchard found a way to make an impact today. What did you see?
Yeah, that's what he does. It's amazing. He finds his way to create opportunities, not just for himself, but for teammates. And he had 4 points today, pretty solid defensively. So we'll see. The next step for him is in exhibition games, and you'll get a look at that tomorrow night.
Is he one of the? Sorry, just one more. Is he one of those guys you'd like you've said some guys 4, 5, 6 games preferably? Would he be on that list?
Yeah, he's going to be on that list. He's going to play a number of games. We want to see where he's at.
How challenging is it to evaluate off of a scrimmage when there's not a lot of NHL guys out there? But you do want to see some guys get noticed and take a step.
You know what happens, Bob? And the reason we did it this way, and I've done it for years like this, is you get into a scrimmage, if you have all the top NHL guys, you end up focusing on those top NHL guys. Yeah. So you take them out, and so the next layer, you see where the separation is. Because the separation, when the NHL guys are there, between the top and the bottom, the separation is huge.
Right.
And so you take that top out, so the separation is less. There's still separation, but it gives those middle guys, gives you a really chance to see them and see what they bring. And you saw it today, like Bouchard stepped out, Cave stepped out. You got that next level of guys that push themselves ahead of the other guys, and that's what you're looking for. That's how you evaluate them. Now they got to go for that next step. How far can they push up with the NHL guys?
Any thoughts on a couple of European guys, maybe all three, the two Swedes, Persson in defense, and then Nygaard, and then Haas as well?
Yeah, all three of them, they're ready for that next step. They've stepped up. Nygaard, I thought, was excellent yesterday in practice, was strong in the game today. Persson's just, I love the way he moves the puck. Haas got cut early, he missed a couple shifts early, but now we want to, they're to the point, they're older players, we got to see how they react in an NHL game, not a scrimmage. So the evaluation process kind of keeps going with them, but they're so far so good on all three of them.
So it does sound like you read quite a bit into this. Not a ton, but it does sound like this is a serious event for you to actually get
today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what I told the players yesterday. This is a scrimmage, and like I said, I've done this for a long time. You take the NHL players out, the majority of them, and you let and they play. That game today is playing. There's a lot of players that would be a question mark whether to get an exhibition game, to play themselves into exhibition games. And so you, like I say, it's just another way to evaluate, but you put them in an element where you can hopefully see the best of them.
So do you anticipate making any cuts before the exhibition game tomorrow then?
Yeah, there might be a couple today. I'll let Kenny handle that.
When it comes to Bouchard, you kind of know what he can do offensively, but to play in the NHL in your top six, does he have to really demonstrate that he can handle it as defensive side of the game?
Yeah, there's an element, and he's a player that part of his defending is the way he moves the puck. He defends less, so there's less time defending. So that's part of his defending. But the other part, there is still some time where he's a young player that has to learn how to defend stronger, defend through position. So, you just hope he continues to improve in those areas, because it's different than junior hockey. And both him and Samorukov, I think Jim Playfair had a good talk with them yesterday. They've got those guys, they get junior habits. And when junior habits, they play so much there, they rest on the ice. Right? They play 30, 35 minutes, and they're playing the whole game, and it doesn't matter. They play all. You rest on the ice. In the NHL, there's no resting on the ice, right? So there's some habits there that they have to get through, and today was a good step where I thought both of them were better today than they had been in practice the last couple of days.
And Ken Holland said the other day that he doesn't want Evan at 7, as your number 7 guy. He has to be in your top 6 to make this team.
Yeah, and we've got jobs open, so let's see where it goes. It's an evaluation process.
And I just thought on Tyler Benson, he comes in healthy off a good year. There's a spot available for him. What kind of opportunity does he have to come in?
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's the bubble guy for me right now. There's a whole, like we said, we've got a list of 9 or 10 guys that every day we're evaluating how they do, and the next step for him now. I thought his two rookie games were just all right. The whole team I thought was just all right, but now that line was pretty good today with Kobe Cave and Russell. So we'll see. I think he's going to play tomorrow night. So the next step for him is the exhibition games, and we'll see how it goes.
Again, he's an offensive guy that kind of has to learn the defensive side of the game a little better, or that's what's going to keep him here, or is he an offense?
Yeah, he just has to be solid. Like, I look at him more as a two-way guy, not. He has to make plays. That's one of his strengths, is to making plays. But he's a sound player. Like, you watch him on the wall down in the American League, he's a player that coaches can rely on. So he's a reliable player, but he's still a part of his game is to create offense.
You said he did, Tyler Benson, didn't necessarily have to play in the top 6 to make this team, but what would you have to see from him to kind of maybe allow him to work his way up the lineup?
Well, he's got to have an impact on the game, and it's if you're not scoring points, you got to be at least creating plays, be a real reliable player, and we'll see where it goes. Like, he's a guy that I think, as you play him with good players, he'd have a chance to excel. And we're going to give him some of those chances, but we'll just see where it all comes out. And it could be that he wins a job. It could be that somebody else is ahead of him. That's just where we're at.
With these young defensemen, do you anticipate that it would be just giving those rotating guys and giving them looks with Kleppbaum, or is there an opportunity to kind of maybe break in on the bottom pair? How do you see that?
We'll see how it all works out. There's nothing set in stone back there. We like the Nurse Larson pair. We're going to give that a look. But after that, there's especially with Chris Russell being out here for a little bit, it gives us opportunity to look at a lot of guys.